What an incredible moment to be here with all of you today, to have arrived at this milestone. The years that we have worked on this have led us here. The old mikvah, which you'll be able to see a bit of in a bit, has been completely demolished already, and work on the new mikvah has already started. I can't wait to celebrate the completion of the project with all of you at the Hanukkah Habayit in Yirtzeh Hashem. But for now, I want to point out and thank a few of the people who have played a role in getting us to this point. Sina, President of Kavrat Nashim, and Tamar, Capital Campaign Chair, who have been working tirelessly by my side day and night to get us here. Rabbi Chesses, who has entered this community and immediately devoted himself to helping us see this project through. Our incredible team at Bald Hill Builders, there are several here today. Matt Grosshandler, Rosario, our project manager, Todd, our superintendent. I'm not sure if anyone else is here. We got so lucky to find Bald Hill. Their patience and their skill is helping us. They share our vision and they're helping us make this a reality. I believe Alan Westman is here, our architect, and Chagit Levy, the original architectural designer who took our idea of being able to expand this space on this lot and made it possible. Took our vision, made a floor plan that works, got us through zoning, and who's really responsible largely for where we are today. There are members of the Board of Kol Tikva here. Randy O'Brien, the president. The Board of Kol Tikva could not have been kinder or more gracious or more supportive during the course of this project. We are so lucky to have them. There are current and former Kavrat Nashim board members who have all worked to help get us here. There are volunteers who aren't on the board but who are working behind the scenes to get us here. And as many of you know, we have been really fortunate to have the tremendous support, both financial and logistical, of Mikvah USA, an organization that have worked to connect us to our tremendously generous naming donor. That donor, Mr. Meli Lifshitz, who's not able to be here today, has made this mikvah his mission. And as we just recently learned, his passion for this project was catapulted by his desire to honor the memory of Ezra Schwartz. That's him. Dr. Ari Schwartz will be speaking to you directly in just a few moments, but I want to say how honored we are by this news. It was a surprise. Until just days ago, none of us had any idea what Mr. Lifshitz intended. When we learned about the naming, we were humbled and we were honored, both by his deep connection to this community and by the Schwartz family's warm willingness to name this mikveh after Ezra, to join us in this project at this crucial juncture. All of us, even those of us who didn't know the Schwartz family well, have come to feel the profound loss that they suffered. And we all, as a community, have been so touched by what they've been through and by all the beautiful memories of Ezra. To be invited to be a part of that now is a tremendous honor. And it's an honor to announce to all of you that the Kavrat Nashim Mikvah of the South Shore will now be known as Mikvah Mei Ezra. Now it's my honor to pass the microphone to Dr. Ari Schwartz, Ezra's father. We're so grateful to have you here with us today.
Good morning, everyone. Rabbi and Sarah Chesses, Rabbi Miller, Rabbi Beer, board members of Kavrat Nashim, Senator Timilty, Representative Kafka. Today is a very meaningful day for the Sharon Jewish community, and it is an extra special day for our family because this beautiful mikvah, Mikvah Mei Ezra, will be named for our son. I wanted to speak today in order to tell everyone about the donors who helped to fund this project and asked that it be named for Ezra. There were several parts to this story that I found to be extraordinary, and I wanted to share this with all of you. Ruth and I spent Tuesday evening with Mel and Rochelle Lifshitz from Lawrence, New York, and we were able to hear their story and were able to understand what inspired them to give to our community. They drove here to meet us and drove right back after our evening. We were lucky to have the opportunity to hear their inspiring story. 22 years ago, the Lifshitz family tragically lost their daughter, Lauren, who was 18 months old. She was a healthy girl who died after a medical accident. We sat together for 3 hours, first in our living room and then over supper. We cried and we wiped the tears away and we cried some more, and we supported each other and we heard their story and they heard ours. The first striking and noble gesture was that despite their loss, they wanted to name this mikvah for Ezra and not for their own daughter. Mel went on to explain that he and his son drove up to Sharon for Ezra's funeral. We never met them, and they went home after the funeral, and we never made a connection until this past week. Mel described how moved he was by our community. He was able to see the pain that we all shared together. He was able to see the tremendous effort in coordinating the funeral itself. He was able to see the volunteers and the individuals who came together to help us when we were unable to function and coordinate and help with logistics. He left here 18 months ago feeling like he was going to do something for Sharon. It was the chesed of this community that inspired him. The Lifshitz family has been helping to build mikvahs for about 5 years. And now, when someone from USA Mikvah contacted them about Sharon's project, he initially did not connect Sharon with Ezra Schwartz from Sharon, Massachusetts. Mel started thinking about this potential project, and then, as he described it, he suddenly realized that this was the community that he visited for Ezra's funeral, and instantly decided that he wanted to be involved in this project and had the idea of naming it for Ezra. He came up to Sharon to meet our mikvah board and the rabbi, and later pulled Rabbi Chessis aside to explain why he was motivated to build a mikvah here in Sharon. I will add that Mel told us that he was here to make sure that this was a right fit for his donation, and after meeting with Rabbi Chessis, he knew that this was the right place for his investment. He was quite taken with our rabbi. His kindness, his personality, his genuine effort and focus on the community and this project. During our conversation, we asked Mel what inspired him to donate to mikvahs. He told a story about a friend, actually named Ezra, who called him a few years ago and asked him to donate money to help build a mikvah in another small town that needed some extra financial support. He initially said no, but later that week he attended the shiva of an acquaintance that he would see periodically when he would take trips to Brooklyn. He would typically try to avoid this person as their personalities did not fit well together. However, when he went to the shiva, he learned what an extraordinary man this was in his ability and desire to help others. He would never say no to anyone who was in need. Mel said he left the shiva and called his friend Ezra and said, "Yes, I will help you build that mikvah." Mel and his wife Rochelle were inspired by this man and his chesed, and they were inspired by the chesed of our community in the way that all of you came together to help us. I felt that this was such an important message, that if you lead by example, if you inspire others with your kindness and virtues, others take notice, and an environment of giving and chesed is created. One good deed leads to another. Ezra helped so many. He was always available to help his friends. Ezra's friend, Jakey Fine, who spent Shabbos with us this weekend, told us that whenever anyone had a problem, the fun-loving, goofy Ezra disappeared, and in his place was a deadly serious person who so deeply cared about his friends and wanted them to be well. It's this loyalty which has inspired so many of his friends to be loyal back to him, even though Ezra's physical being is no longer with us. Our family was deeply humbled by the initial response of the Sharon community and the greater worldwide Jewish community. We continue to be amazed and in many ways embarrassed by the attention and outpouring of support that we continue to receive on a daily basis. It is a challenging situation to not be able to reciprocate for all the kindness that we have been engulfed with. We feel that on Ezra's behalf we are honored to accept the memorials and honors that Ezra has been given, and all we can do is to be grateful to so many of you who care so much. We are forever appreciative and in debt for this kindness. Mazel Tov on this wonderful groundbreaking event, and thank you all for being there for us.